Welcome everybody to our February USBG monthly meeting for Palm Beach and Broward, and now we're open that up for Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, possibly it sounds like maybe, and everyone else watching. Bobby D in the audience, love you, buddy. Adrian Stibbins, how you doing? We got a lot of great stuff planned for today. The way the run of show is going to work is I'm going to go over some upcoming USBG events that we have, some great opportunities for our members and non-members as well. And then we're going to hand it to Greta, and then Greta is going to talk a little bit. And then Mike Kavanaugh is going to come on and talk about some great tools and things with trends using Prairie Vodka, Kamora, and some other great products as well. And then we're going to come back to me for the Bartender Boot Camp, which you're all ready for, releasing the rules for the IBA USBG, United States Cocktail Competition local multi-chapter. That's a mouthful right there. Qualifier happening March 1st at 4 p.m. in Boca Raton at the Beer Garden. So we're going to release the rules. We're going to break down the rules line by line to go over a better way to how to prepare for this competition, because if you ever heard of IBA competitions, you're probably a little apprehensive, a little scared. You're not sure how to compete in these. We're going to demystify all that for you and try to make it easy for you and better prepare you so you can score better points overall going into the competition and feel more better about it. But let's go into some of our upcoming events. First of all, this Saturday is the Miami Rum Congress. Any active USBG member, regardless of what chapter you are, gets 2 free tickets to the trade session from 1:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you haven't been, if you like rum, if you like booze, it is definitely worth going to. There's probably like 50 different rum sponsors there. They're all passing out different samples, different SKUs. And it's a great way to go around the world tasting rums. And believe it or not, one of my favorite rums last year was actually from Taiwan. It was crazy. It was like a copper pot and a little bit of pepper. It was beautiful. But it's definitely well worth it. There's some great seminars as well, and definitely well worth the trip down to Miami if you can. And those in Miami, you lucked out. After that, we have the fall Monday, February 16th, the Tullamore Dew first annual Bartenders Ball in West Palm Beach. It's happening at O'Shea's Irish Pub and Clematis Street. If you haven't been, it's a great spot for drinking. And that goes from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. and it's open bar, food, live music, DJ, and giveaways. And that's free to anybody. So feel free to come by if you're in the area. I know Jameson used to do it big or around the world. So it's great to see Tullamore Dew kind of give them a run for money. We'll see what happens. Following that, more benefits, more membership perks for USBG members. Alt Bev Expo. This is the first expo of its kind. It's Alternate Beverage Expo in West Palm Beach at the West Palm Beach Convention Center. And that's happening February 27th and 28th, that Saturday and Sunday. And USBG members get free tickets to that as well. There's a whole expo booth there for NA spirit cocktails, THC, cannabis, water, beverage, syrups, teas, everything under the sun. There's a lot of great seminars there as well coming up, and it's definitely well worth it. And USBG members, thanks to David Ortiz, who's helping running it. And those you don't know David Ortiz, he was the founding president for the USBG Miami chapter. He's a great guy, and he's giving away free tickets to all USBG members. But wait, there's more. March 1st, what you talk about, put that on your calendar now. If you haven't been done it already, that's our USBG qualifier for the multi-state Florida chapter, 4 p.m. in Boca Raton at Beer Garden. Free to watch, free to enter, come and enjoy, support your favorite bartenders. Free to compete, but you do have to be a USBG member. Either spend that $125 a year or that $12 monthly and jump in. It's well worth it. It's going to be an amazing event to watch and even be a part of. And I believe there's maybe 8 VIP seats left. That's $50 a pop for the seats, but you get a guaranteed seat right up front and a great view of the action. Following that, then we have April 14th is the next round of qualifying for the USBG United States Cocktail Competition for the regionals. That's again happening for Palm Beach at Beer Garden, same location. And then this way, all the South Florida chapters will send their best to compete on stage for the next round of competition, doing it all over again, but in a much heightened and much stricter rules at this point. You'll see when we break it down a little bit, the local chapters, the rules maybe start out about 25% IBA. At the regional, it'll be about 50% IBA. And then for the finals, it'll be like around 95% IBA. So it gets a little bit harder, but we progress and give you that training as well. And then after that, the big one, April 26th to the 29th, is the USBG Bar Summit. This year it's going to be in Philadelphia. It's always a great time. hosted keynote speaker William H. Macy. If you haven't known him, you've probably seen him in some of your favorite movies you didn't realize. But I'm going to bring Ron up right now, Ron Krosnick from our USBG Palm Beach chapter, and he's going to talk a little bit about the USBG Bar Summit, some of the benefits he's found from it. Ron?
Oh, thank you, Rob. Yes, my name is Ron Krosnick. I'm the director at USBG Palm Beach. The United States Bartender Guild has this summit that they hold each year at different locations around the United States. So each chapter gets a chance to be highlighted. And I've been to ones that was held in Atlanta, Denver, and Phoenix. I'm still talking about Phoenix. That was a great one. But this year it's going to be in Philadelphia. And a great thing, it's the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. So it's great to have it in the city of brotherly love. What you're going to expect when you go to the summit is that there's various speakers that are going to be speaking to there's sort of two tracks. There's leadership tracks or director type tracks for people who are hold positions within USBG to help them do better things. And then there's also things just for people who are bartenders like me. You just learn a lot of different things from all of these speakers. It's always very well done, and I appreciate it. Keynote speakers, as we've just spoke about, the last few events, we've had Dale DeGroff and we had Guy Fieri, which was very informative and fun, and I enjoyed those myself. So you have that on tap. Also, there is a nice sit-down dinner where they have an awards night, and the dinner is very fancy, good food, good drink, and the awards are held and presented to the chapters that win for various kinds of things that they are promoting and trying to show that they've done. The other nice thing that happens when we go to this is that there's some field trips or some sponsored events. So say like there'll be a distillery, everybody gets on a bus, there's no drinking and driving, and we'll go out to this distillery, have a tasting, learn about things. And there's also some other events where a brand will sponsor something at a club, and it'll just be exclusively for that brand, which is always great because there's always plenty of swag. Guys, make sure you leave some space in your suitcase for all the stuff that you're going to end up bringing back with you. And with all of that, that's about it. That's about what I can say. Now, remember, if you're a member of the United States Bartenders Guild, that is how you get to go to this event. And it's only going to be $12 a month or $125 a year. It's definitely well worth it. Bob?
Awesome. Thank you, Ron. And again, if you're curious about all the benefits of the USBG, the United States Bartenders Guild, and how to get more information, two main websites. The main one is usbg.org. That's the main website where you're going to join from there and see all the events happening nationwide and internationally through the USBG. And then for your local Florida people, if you go to usbgpalmbeach.org is our local website where we've hosted and posted all of our events since June of 2013 that you can check every month and see upcoming events as well. With that, Greta, it's all you, darling.
Hi guys, it's Greta Bucelato here. I am the VP of the Palm Beach chapter. I am here to kind of help Rob and the rest of the board help you get to know some of the rules and the finer best practices for this upcoming competition. And we can really show, the whole world really what South Florida and the South can do, and really nationwide. Hopefully we can bring some awards back and some awesome camaraderie. And I'm also here to introduce Michael Kavanaugh. He is here sponsoring this meeting. Thank you, Michael. He is representing the Midwestern Organic Prairie Vodka and Gin. They also have a cucumber distillate that's really good. He's going to kind of walk you through one of their new cocktail manics. Michael, maybe you can explain to us what that is and how it is going to help us keep on top of current trends as well as the future trends.
Thanks, Gwen. Yeah. Cocktail almanac. It's a word. I know. I didn't create it. Cocktail almanac. I think that's where it started. Should I share the presentation now, Greta, or later?
Oh, yes, please.
All right, let me share that. Well, thanks again, Rob and Greta, for letting me come in and share this. We're pretty proud of this. So my name is Michael Cavan. I run the East region for Phillips Distilling. And as Greta said, one of our top brands that we like to focus on is Prairie Organic Spirits, Prairie Vodka, Prairie Gin, and Prairie Cucumber Vodka. We also have Kamora Coffee Liqueur. Rob mentioned it earlier. Rob, I saw the Dulce de Leche you had there. That looked delicious. We're very proud of those two brands. We also have Trader Vic's rums, and cordials and a whole bunch of other stuff. But we like to highlight Prairie and Kamora. Back in 2023, we created our first printed edition of the Cocktail Almanac. And really, it was around just creating something fun to show off our portfolio. And it kind of evolved into a printed book that featured a lot of cocktails and recipes. Last year in 2025, we partnered with some very well-known bartenders across the country to help us take it to the next level and to take some of our brands and create our own cocktails, and kind of evaluate trends and things like that are ongoing in the industry, because our portfolio really works in the on-premise so well. You can see here that the 2025 Cocktail Almanac, which was a printed edition, you can see it on the right, kind of the printed book, really did well. I mean, we had 26 media hits, over 500 million impressions. I mean, it was great, and it really kind of evolved into something we didn't even expect. So this year, while the printed edition is not really sustainable for a long time, this year we decided to make it 100% digital. And so our 2026 Cocktail Almanac was created. If you have time, please scan the QR code or just go to cocktailalmanac.com to play around with the tool. It's a great tool, and it's really designed to spotlight bartenders like yourselves, the spirits that we distill and create, and then kind of leading into the next idea or the next era of craft cocktails through inspiration trends, through inspirational ideas and things like that. And then kind of breaking it down into different categories that make it easier for you as the bartender, restaurateur, or business manager out there to kind of help you easily navigate this ever-evolving cocktail world, right? So a couple of things that are covered in it, solutions by day part, so you can have your brunch, your lunch, your dinner, dessert menu, things of that nature. Trends, like I said, where it's either flavor profiles to, more of a spring or a seasonality piece. And then dozens of martinis. I mean, the last couple of years, especially in 2025, we've seen the martini come back, but then riffs on the martini just explode. And that's one thing that we've learned from the bartenders we sponsored, and the bartenders that kind of helped us build this Cocktail Almanac, to say it's just a fun thing to kind of build off. This last couple of years, we've seen the cocktail industry go from cocktails, classic cocktails, and these riffs of classic cocktails. It's not always something you have to create and do something unique. You can actually build off of something that was done. 100 plus recipes are there, 8 influential mixologists we've used over this year and last year, and 10 plus trends. And then once you scan it, you can play around with the tool and see. Our drink of the year was the martini, of course, and our bartender that we worked with this year, Neil Flores, maybe you know him, very famous and very well-known bartender in New York City, kind of helped us create the Vesper's Friend. Obviously, the Vesper being a very famous cocktail, and this is kind of a riff off of that, just changing some simple things. And I think that's the kind of stuff you'll find throughout the Cocktail Almanac, is to show how we can take a classic martini or a Vesper like that and create it in unique different ways. Here's the 5 influential mixologists that we used this year, all from Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago. Some great people to work with, and really just tremendous assets to help us build this portfolio, this book and tool. You'll see as you explore the tool, Linda helps us really kind of guide the conversation around the cocktails. She'll do the videos and things of that in certain cocktails that are featured. And here are some of the trends. So we broke it into these 6 trends. These are the easiest ones to focus on it. You can see multi-textured, highbrow, lowbrow, theatrical, garnishes, culinary, spirit-based, and sustainable sips. And here's just something that we got recently in news. But the real fun part is that you can use this to kind of gain inspiration. While it shows you an easy way to go right to the cocktail, to build the cocktail, make the cocktail, and be profitable, which is extremely important, of course, it also inspires you, right? So Vesper's Friend, a simple cocktail, but maybe just changing certain recipes or certain ounces to across easy spirits can make a different cocktail that wasn't created before.
Michael, we have a question real quick. How do
Yeah.
you get considered to be a bartender in the cocktail almanac? That's from Adrian in Tampa.
That's a good question. Our marketing team partners with them. Most likely in the future, maybe we could have some kind of conversation around that. They do go to our distributor partners and get advice from them. There's probably submissions and people we've worked with out of Minnesota and other people across the country with our brands. This year, I know Linda, I believe we found an event we did in LA and it kind of just sparked from there. And I think Linda recommended a couple of the other mixologists we featured. Years in the past, we worked with Southern Glazers that helped us connect to a couple of mixologists or bartenders from last year. So next year, who knows? I know this tool is not going anywhere. It's going to continue evolving. But usually it's just, look, we're a relationship business, and that's how we gain these relationships. But good question. And here's just an easy reminder. Please, if you haven't done so already, scan the QR code. I think we can send this presentation out. Rob and Greta, I don't know if we can do that or if it's recorded, of course, please scan the QR code. It'll work, or just go to cocktailmanac.com. And here's just some easy toolkit pieces that I have. If anyone ever needs any pictures or recipes printed out, I have all that in my hands. One thing, so we're very proud of Prairie, obviously, and Prairie is a 100% USDA organic product out of Minnesota. We partnered with the Xerces Society about 2 years ago now. And if you don't know who the Xerces Society is, the Xerces Society is the nation's largest charitable donator to invertebrates. And we've identified that obviously 75% of Americans believe that the decline of bees is a serious problem. And it is a serious problem. I mean, the decline of bees, that's where we get a lot of our food. Pollinators are helping us create our food. So we identified that. Being a 100% organic product, we think it's extremely important to help protect that. So we partnered with the Xerces Society. And over the last 2 years with our partnership, we created QR codes, both in on-premise and off-premise, where you simply scan the QR code, it takes us to a website, and automatically $1 was donated to the Xerces Society. No questions asked, no charge to you or anything like that. And this year, we've decided to step that up another notch. We'd like to take Prairie to the next level with the Xerces Society, give back even more to help save the bees because it's having a big impact. So our commitment is through our Be Better campaign to proudly supports the Xerces Society to save the bees and maintain our food system. Over the last 2 years, we've donated a minimum of $20,000. We're trying to target around $50,000 to $60,000 this year, but we're not stopping there. If we can go over, we're happy to go over. And it's your opportunity, right? So as you're putting these things on your menu and you're adding these, I mean, this is a great opportunity to drive sales. Prairie is a profitable cocktail, a profitable brand. It's not something that's not looked at for profitability, and therefore it can help you generate good income on your menu. Here's just how the on-premise program works. So one, we're looking to order the POS, and I'll go into more detail on how that works. And then just one scan of that QR code, $1 will be donated. And then this year, we're going to have that $4 boost, where if they can show that you had the menu and then there was proof of that cocktail, we'll donate a whole $5. So still that $1 being donated, but we're going to boost it $4 to help even get more of a spend. So this is the request, right? So we're looking to gain more idea around Prairie Organic and the honey cocktail movement. And really our big push is for April. April is Earth Day. So we feel like that's a good target for us. We've created a website. You can scan this QR code, go to the website, sign up. We will fund you and send you POS that is around the program up to, I believe, $300 for Florida. It's one of our approved markets. We can send that POS. You'll see the approved POS that's on there. Mostly it's coasters and T-shirts and things like that. Your customer will scan that, and again, it'll be $1 donated to the Xerxes Society, and then with proof of the menu, an additional $4 is sent over to it. So a total of $5. And here's just some information on Prairie and the on-premise. Florida is one of our top growing markets with Prairie, so we're really proud of it. I think there's a lot more we can do with it. And here's just kind of some recipes we have with Prairie and the POS that you could find on the website. So please scan the QR code and help us save the bees. That's all I had. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, excellent. That's so awesome. I mean,
It is.
The bees, once they're gone, you know? Thank you, Mike.
And there goes our food source, right? So let's save them.
Everything. So at this point, does anyone have any other questions for Mike? As far as, you know, possibly the where to get we'll send you the PDF. I'll try and send that to each of you individually. And then, of course, in the chat are the codes for you to scan. At this point, I'm going to hand it over to Rob, and he can tell you guys about the best practices for this upcoming monumental competition, because I know he's just excited to tell you guys about it. So over to Rob.
Awesome. Thank you, Greta. Thank you, Mike. Great presentation. And I'm looking forward to making some of this later. So I was waiting till this was done. But yeah, if you guys haven't ever been to a bartending competition before, they're inspiring. A little story for myself is I was a bartender for the first 6 years of my life. And I thought I knew everything about bartending. I knew your name when you came in. I remembered your drink. I introduced you to people. Like, I thought I was a great bartender. I gave great service. And it took me going to a bartending competition and seeing what was really capable of being inspired to, like, damn, I want to do that. And then from that, just competing and testing yourself, and then having that motivation to push yourself to become better and learn more about your craft. The moment I started competing in bartending competitions made me a better bartender. From accuracy competitions to speed competitions to cocktail competitions to Flair, you are more valuable the more skills you had. And I noticed, like, when I'd be doing speed competitions, later in my shifts, a week later, I was quicker and I was making more money. I'm like, wow, there's something here to it. Or if I came up with this great cocktail, like, now it gives you a talking point to your guests, like, oh, guys, you got to try this new cocktail I'm working on. It's great. And you kind of give, you know, that your guests feeling something special, and also using them as a test market to test your cocktails out, right? Which is great. So it's a win-win for everybody. But worst case scenario, you get a new recipe. Best case scenario, you gain some more knowledge, a new skill, and a new friend. So definitely compete. It's worth it. March 1st, the run of show, the way it's basically going to work is we have USBG Miami in the house. We have USBG Tampa, USBG Palm Beach, all working together. It's going to be 2 rounds of competition. You can pick either classic, you can pick either Flair, or if you're brave enough, you can do both. And at the end of the day, 2 people from each one of those chapters are going to qualify. So for Miami is going to qualify 1 person for classic, 1 person for Flair. Tampa, 1 person for classic, 1 person for Flair. And Palm Beach, 1 person for classic and 1 person for Flair. Now, when it comes to USBG Orlando, yes, they're involved as well. They're going to qualify 1 person for Flair because they're doing their classic competition coming up Tuesday, February 10th in Orlando. So if you're in town, I'll see you there because I'll be helping them judge as well. So a lot of great things. 4 chapters coming on. And then Jacksonville may show up or maybe send someone down to put on a demo. So we're waiting to find out how that goes. But the run of show is at noon. The staff, all of us, we arrive, we start setting everything up, we get everything going. All competitors, your call time is 1 o'clock, and we have our competitor meeting at 2 o'clock. So we're going to go over the rules in a little bit. We'll go over how to ask questions. And then that day of is your last time to ask any questions. Fill out your paperwork, your waivers of liability, your photo releases, all that fun stuff. Submit your recipes and all that as well. And then at 3 o'clock, we have our judges meeting after we have our competitor meeting. And when I go over all this stuff line by line and stuff, I'm going to break up and give you some insights of things that I would do for best practices. And this is where it starts right now. So if you know there's a judges meeting after the competitor meeting, you always want to ask, hey, can we sit in for the judges meeting? Keep in mind, it's your time as a competitor to ask questions during the competitor meeting. But if they're having a judges meeting, they allow you to sit in and be respectful and not talk and not ask any questions, but listen and learn. Take that opportunity. I've learned more from listening to judges meetings than I have from competitor meetings, because the way the organizer explains to the judges of how they're supposed to judge and breaking down the rules for them opens up some eyes and ears like, wow, I didn't think about it that way. Oh, that makes sense how they're doing it. Listen and learn. At this competition, we encourage competitors to stay afterwards for the judges meeting. Again, just be courteous. No time for questions, because we're on a time schedule and this is time for the judges, but listen and learn. And that's at 3 o'clock. That'll end around 3:30. That'll give us about a 30-minute window till 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, all the competitors that are in the competition, we're going to ask you to stand in a line, and we'll do the introduction. We'll do a stage introduction. All the classic competitors will be introduced, and all the Flair competitors. And then here's some inside information as well, which we're going to break down the rules a little bit, but I'll give you a little tease. At the competitor check-in at 1 o'clock, you're going to check in. You're going to find out who's in charge. It's usually the admin manager. And you're going to want to go fill out your paperwork, turn in your recipes, do all that. The first person to turn in all their required paperwork first and submit their recipe, whatever order you finish that in, like, cool, Adrian finished first, Greta finished second, Mariano finished third. By the time we're done with that competitor meeting, we're going to pick, all right, cool, go getting to choose what spot they want to compete in first. Greta, so the sooner you turn in your paperwork, the sooner you get to pick your pole position and what order you want to compete in. Maybe you want to go in the middle. Maybe you want to go first. Maybe you want to go towards the end. It gives you an advantage. It's a great way to be respectful for the organizers of the competition and to the other competitors to get there early and fill your paperwork and do everything done early. And it rewards you for doing that as well. So there's a little inside information on that one. And then at 4:15, we start the intro. And then right around 4:30, the competition goes live. We're going to do all the classic rounds first. Just like an IBA competition, you'll have 3 stations set up on stage. Most likely it'll be 3 tables raised high, so it'll be like bar height, not down below where you're bending over and it just looks like crap. It'll be bar height. I'm leaning towards doing tables, so it'll be a quick breakdown instead of doing 3 portable bars. And then from that, most IBA competitions, you'll have a judge doing deductions for you, watching and stuff like that. So we're going to have 1 judge per competitor doing deductions, and we're going to go over deductions in a little bit. And then you'll find out at most IBA competitions, your tasting judges are blind. They're off somewhere. They're not biased. They don't know what's going on. They just judge the cocktail that you have here. For this competition, we're going to flip the script a little bit, and they're going to be watching you as well. So they'll be judging part of what you're doing as well. Again, keep in mind, this competition is more of a local competition with about 25% IBA, where the regional will have about 50%, and then the finals about 95%. So we want to ease you into, a little bit more of IBA without overburdening you or scaring you away too much. Then once we go through all the classic competitors, take a quick break, turn over the stage, bring out the portable bar for Flair, and then we'll go knock out all the Flair competitors. And while that's going on, it's so much fun when you get all that energy up there, like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to compete. Well, guess what? There's stuff for you watching to do as well. Around there, we also have different sponsor vendor booths. They'll each be there, the major sponsors of the competition, as well as some select few invited sponsors that are sponsoring a booth to go around and do some tastings. They are going to be tasting 1-ounce liquor neat pours of their spirit and 2-ounce mixed cocktails as well. And there'll be about 10 different booths you can be interchange them. And if you are thinking about competing or doing an event or looking for sponsorship, use that time to talk to those brands and sponsors. They're there to do liquor to lips. Don't get me wrong. They want you to taste their product. They want to get to know you, but they want to get to know you. See what you can offer them. Get their business cards. Exchange information. That is a great thing. Don't feel like, oh, this isn't our competition and we don't want to step on any toes. No, I'm telling you, do it. Make those connections. And anytime you go to a big event like Tales of the Cocktail or USBG Bar Summit and things like that, make those connections. Your network is your net worth. Let's move on. But then there's also going to be a special contest for everyone in the audience, open to any competitor, any judge, any staff, any audience member watching. It's something we call the Spill Stop Pour Challenge. And basically what it is, it's a timed accuracy challenge. You'll have about 7 different pours lined up. You'll be pouring with 2 bottles filled with water. If you want to pour one-handed or two-handed, it's up to you. You're going to put your hands down. Whew, okay, and as soon as you let go of your hands, the timer will start, and it's all automated. You're in control of the timer. You're going to free pour 7 different pours as fast and as accurately as possible as you can. Every drop will add a second to your time, and then once you're done, stop the timer. You'll have your base time. Let's say it's 15 seconds, and then from that, we'll pull out using these gradulated pour tests, and we'll see how close you are in those pours. For every line or every eighth of an ounce, eighth of an ounce you're off, we're going to add a second to your time. So at the end of the day, whoever's the fastest and the cleanest bartender gets $100 in a trophy, and it costs $5 to enter. So you can enter as many times as you want, just $5 every time. Maybe you do it in $5, maybe you do it in $120, and you just want the trophy. I've seen many people go back to back and challenge this. It's just something fun to do that when you're watching, you kind of want to compete. So it's just a little fun bonus in there as well. All right, but now that's basically the run. Then we'll go into the awards ceremony where we already talked about who's all qualifying, and then we clean up an after party. But now what we're going to do is break up and go into the rules. I'm going to pull the rules up right now and go over them. Good thing is, just to be fair, if you start to learn something about me, I try to be as transparent and fair as possible. I wanted to make sure that we posted these rules ahead of time on the website. So if you go to the website now, they're actually live as of 7:02. Instead of giving you guys an advantage, like, "Ooh, we got the rules because we tuned in." You got the rules because you tuned in, but you're also getting the best practice how to do it as well. So right now, we want to thank Miami USBG, Tampa USBG, Palm Beach, and Orlando, and the USBG itself. Partnering up with the FBA. If you guys don't know anything about the FBA is the Flair Bartenders Association. It was the original association globally on organizing bartenders of how to properly do flair, train, and the sport and art of flair bartending. And when it comes to regional for USBG, the regional competitions and the finals, the FBA is going to be more on board, giving education, training, and staffing as well with this, but we'll get into that later. Competition outline. So when you got time, feel free to read this. This is something for once you get to the regional level of the USBG competition, you got to make sure you're an FBA member. Great news is it's free to enter, or free to have a membership. It takes about 8 minutes to sign up, and then from that you'll get a lot of information of other global competitions as well. And it's a great way to network and talk to other bartenders. Think of it like Facebook for bartenders. You can see all the members that are on there. You can click on their name, message them directly, and share social medias on there. There's a whole WhatsApp in there. It's a great tool with a lot of training as well we're going to talk about. But here is our first sponsor, Tito's Vodka. So Tito will be the official vodka of the competition on stage. Tito's does a lot of great things for charity, especially a lot of great things with dogs. When they heard about this competition, Greta got them on board, and they were just like, yes, we want to be a part of this. So Tito's Vodka will be the official vodka for the competition. Moving on next, our gin is going to be Spring 44 Gin. I haven't tried the gin, but I love the vodka, the honey vodka, so I'm really curious to try this. It's a great bottle from what I understand for Flair, looking at it, but also the juice inside, from what I've been told, tastes amazing. So I remember last time I think I had Spring 44 gin was 5 years ago, so I'm looking to try it again. Moving on, our bourbon is going to be Maker's Mark Bourbon, so you guys got first knowledge of that right now. It's a great bourbon, great bottle, and they were really happy to get on board. And I believe Adrian from Tampa set us up with that sponsor, so Adrian, great job. And moving next, our next sponsor being released is, yes, Hennessy Cognac. You don't really see Hennessy do a lot of competitions. You see they do have one a year, which is great, but they really want to get involved. They really love what we're doing, and they're hungry to learn more, especially if you're in the Florida market. Make sure you go up to Jacqueline at her booth at Hennessy and talk to her. She wants to get to know more of you guys, and she wants to see what you're doing and how she can help you with your events using Hennessy. Let's see, our next sponsor is Real Infused Exotics. If you haven't tried Real before, it's amazing in my opinion. It saved me so much time. Back in the day when I used to work in a nightclub, I would do high volume cocktails, quality cocktails, and entertain with Flair the whole time. And I couldn't do it without going in my shift every week on a Thursday, 2 hours early, making my own syrup, so that way I can knock out cocktails a little bit quicker, almost like semi-batching cocktails before that was even a thing. And then Real came out with their line of products, and oh my God, it saved me time and money where I didn't have to go into work early anymore. And I just can't say enough about these products. Great. They're in most USBG events now. They're definitely a partner for the regional and the finals as well. So keep in mind for that. And then Finest Call is their other partner brand with them. They make this amazing Finest Call citrus single press lime juice, lemon juice. They have a pineapple juice now, which is ridiculous, and a cranberry juice as well for the single press, along with a lot of other great flavors. Barproducts.com is coming in. If you don't know them, they're a great brand. They're doing some great swag for us. I don't want to give too much surprises away, but you'll be getting more than just a handshake if you compete in this competition. And United States Bartenders Guild, you guys already know them. The USBG Miami chapter is awesome. Tampa Bay with the new logo, I love it. Palm Beach and Broward, Orlando coming through. And then the FBA again, we talked about, but you can read about that there. And now let's get into the rules. Overall elements. The only category spirits for vodka, gin, Spirit TBA 1, Spirit TBA 2, whiskey, and cognac allowed in the competition are their sponsor brands. So now as a competitor, as I'm reading that, I know the only vodka I can use in the competition is Tito's. The only gin is Spring 44. The only whiskey is Makers. The only cognac is Hennessy. Spirit TBA 1 and Spirit TBA 2, okay, there's going to be two more sponsors they haven't locked in yet, but there's going to be probably a choice of 6 spirit categories I can choose from. Okay, reading between the lines. The only syrups allowed in the competition are Real syrups. If you'd like to create a homemade syrup using Real as the base, you can. Okay, so I can't make my own homemade banana infused clove, but if I use Real banana, I can infuse that with clove. Okay, cool. Read between the lines, understand the rules. No competing mixers of finest call allowed in the competition. Most people don't use finest call, so they don't know what finest call is. So that's why we include the website of all these brands and sponsors in here. Go on the website and see what they have. They have a huge line. So don't come in there thinking I'm going to create this great thing and realize, oh, damn, I didn't realize finest call made that already. And now I can't use this and wasted my time. And I got to rebalance my cocktail last minute because I didn't do my due diligence. Look at all the ingredients on all these sites, especially the Real and Finest Call. We got a good idea. Tito's is Tito's. Spring 44s, they got a couple different SKUs on Spring 44 gin too as well. Competitors, this is good. We'll have 6 minutes to compete on stage. So for Classic and Flair, we'll both have the same amount of time, 6 minutes to compete on stage during your round. On stage, there'll be a back bar of different various expressions of all the brands and single press lime syrups, and utilize their original French Long Island tea and specialty cocktail, which we'll get into that. So now you're starting to like, oh, there's more going on here. If you want to use any additional store-bought ingredients or non-competing spirits, mixers, glassware, garnishes, etc. in the specialty cocktail, you must supply them yourself as a competitor. So now you know, like, cool, if I want to use Aperol, I can use Aperol because it's not competing, but I got to supply that myself. And then it must have a minimum of a ½ ounce of liquor in each bottle. So this is mainly for the Flair people, but it's going to, these are rules across the board for Classic and Flair that if I bring anything in, it has to have at least ½ ounce of liquor in there as well. And it cannot be a competing brand. Non-competing, right there, non-competing spirits in your recipe will be supplied by the competitor. It must be in its original bottle, package, and be set to any level above the minimum ½ ounce in each bottle. So now I know that if I want to use Kamora, Dolce Leche, it's not competing with anything, I can use it. And the great thing is I can keep the label on. So now what does this tell me as a competitor? Rob, you're pretty smart. You're pretty entrepreneuric. Wow. If I can go to Kamora, you guys already got a connection from this meeting, and ask them to sponsor me personally as a competitor, maybe I get to ask for $100 and I'll use your product on the competition stage and I can put the label out on stage and do whatever I can. Because I'm not really pissing anyone off by doing something like a big banner or something, but little things like this. Read between the lines of the rules and see how you can utilize them to best suit you as a competitor. It's a great advantage right there. Ooh. Homemade non-alcoholic ingredients are allowed that are not competing flavors of available Real syrups or Finest Call. So it says non-alcoholic. So keep that in mind. I cannot do a homemade alcoholic spirit. I can't do a homemade tincture. I can't do a homemade bitters, but I can do a homemade non-alcoholic spirit as long as it doesn't compete with a Real syrup or a flavor. So again, if I wanted to do that clove pineapple syrup I wanted to do, use the Real pineapple and then infuse it with cloves and anything else you want afterwards as you want. Same with Finest Call. This is something new this year. So this is a big one. This goes across the board for Classic. Again, these rules are all for Classic and Flair. All Real infused syrups on stage must go in a competitor choice bottle. What competitors may utilize any non-competing non-alcoholic homemade ingredients, juices, egg whites, aquafaba, teas, etc. in competitor choice bottles. Competitor choice bottles are clear, unlabeled bottles for ingredients listed above, and it's not only in your recipe or only in your recipe for your specialty cocktail. No electrical tape, no tinted glass, no stickers, no distinguishing marks or elements. Clear, unlabeled bottles only. Those of you who've never competed in the IBA finals or our FBA competitions, this might be new to you. So what a competitor choice bottle is, if I want to utilize something like Real's giving you an advantage now. Instead of having this bottle on stage and pouring from it, which if you don't have the technique down to do that perfect half-ounce pour with every squeeze, they made it easier for you by doing a competitor choice bottle. Competitor choice bottle can be anything you want, clear, unlabeled, unbranded, no tint, see-through, all the labels are off. It could be this bottle, same thing, doesn't matter what size. You get to pick. So now that opens it up where it makes it a little bit easier for me, where maybe I don't feel so comfortable pouring from this into a jigger, or maybe I'm afraid about spilling. Now I can use this and use whatever pour spot I want on here, or not pour spot I want to use on as well. So these will be good. This one would be an example of a bad one. So if you notice, there's some great markings on there. This is a great bottle from Still Tie Spirits, much like 86 and Co. They have the label markings on the side for how much is on the side. They have their logo embossed on here. Unfortunately, because it is branded, I cannot use this bottle. So no to this, yes to this. And again, all Real must go into one of those bottles. Okay, moving next. All competitor choice bottles must have 1/2 ounce of liquid. There is no limit on ingredients or garnish. So you'll find out in most competitions, there's usually a limit of ingredients of like maybe 7 ingredients, and that's it. This one, there's no limit to ingredients. So we want you to have fun. And there's no limit to, how many garnishes you can do or how exotic your garnish has to be. 80% edible, 20% fake, whatever. It's whatever you want to do. And then this is something different too. Again, remember, keep in mind, this is an introduction to IBA competitions. If you haven't seen any IBA competitions before, garnish is king. Garnish is huge. These garnishes they do are just extravagant and amazing. So what they normally do is in the round, you have a 15-minute garnish time that you have 15 minutes right before your round on stage to prepare your garnishes for your cocktail. And while you're doing that, you're being judged on that. And then you bring your garnishes up to the stage and do your cocktail with. So we wanted to do the same thing, but again, ease you into it. So there is not going to be a 15-minute garnish prep time, but you can do the garnish ahead of time whenever you want. You can make it at home 2 days before the comp. You can do it the day of the comp. Whenever you want to do it, it's up to you. But garnishes will come in key later for judging. If someone can put their thing on mute, I don't know who that is offhand. Greta, if you want to check that.
What's that?
Competitors must clear their station within 2 minutes after the routine. So as soon as you are done, your job to clear that station and get your stuff off of the bar so we can get the next competitors prepped and give everyone their due time on stage in the same amount of time to set up as well, to be fair. The bar will be cleaned to reset after each competitor. The bartender will have 3 minutes to arrange their tins, specialty bottles, store and pours, props, stations. So you have 3 minutes to set up your bar. And what's going to happen is everyone's going to come up for classic, come up at the same time. Everyone, you have 3 minutes, go. The MC is going to have the clock, 3 minutes, boom, set up your time. At the end of 3 minutes, time will stop, and then we'll get into what's going to happen next after that. No fire other than a small torch for garnish will be permitted. So usually we just use that for like a little torch, but no juggling fire or anything like that. That's pretty standard nowadays, just for liability-wise for competitions. This is something a little different than maybe you're not used to. When the 6 minutes is up, the bartender is done and puts their hands in the air. To signal the bartender is done before the time, they will pick up their cocktail in their hands, present the audience holding with their cocktail above. So you'll see at most competitions, classic competitions, IBA competitions, when you're done, you can either call time if you get done ahead of time for some reason of the 6 minutes, or what you can do is sometimes you'll have like a little napkin on here. You'll pick up your cocktail and present your cocktail to the audience and to the judges to signal your time. Either one is fair. But if for some reason you are going in 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. MC is going to call time. Your judges are going to stop you. Don't keep going. Don't be a dick. Your time is done. If you do continue to do that, we're going to do the deductions of what happens if you keep going and building, and you could be disqualified. So we don't want to see that happen. Practice your drinks. Finish your damn drinks. Finish your damn drinks on time. There you go. If the bartender continues to stop making their cocktail after time, they will be penalized and possibly not be able to present their cocktail to the judges. So when time is called, stop. Your round is over. Finish your drinks in allotted 6 minutes. Additional classic rules now. So these rules are for classic. Classic competitors will be competing 3 at a time at the same time on 3 stations on stage. Classic competitors may not bring anyone else with them on stage. Unlike you'll see, like maybe the Flair bartenders will have like some bar backs so they can throw off too. That's allowed because they signed the waivers and we know that ahead of time. But with the classic, it's just you on stage. You're your boss. You got this. Each classic competitor may not pre-ice their tools, glassware, or place their garnish on their 4 cocktail glasses they are serving. So you're basically starting nothing pre-iced, not in garnish, just the garnishes are ready to go, but the garnish is not on my presenting glass yet. Each classic competitor will be judged on their 1-minute presentation right before the start of the round to the crowd and judges. So we're going to get into that in a little bit when we break down the rules even more. Each classic competitor will be handed a wireless microphone to utilize this. So now reading this as a competitor, I know I'm going to be holding a wireless mic. I'm not going to have a lav mic on, and I probably won't be talking during my round. When we do a lot of cocktail competitions, usually when they're one at a time, you'll have the option to talk and walk through the process of how you're doing everything with the judges and the crowd. During IBA competitions, if you notice, you're going 3 at a time, so you don't have that time to talk. So if you're used to competing while talking, this is going to be a little different for you. So when you do have that time to talk is your 1-minute presentation, which we'll get into in a little bit again as well. So 1 minute, Greta, can you make sure that someone's mic's muted? The 1-minute presentation will be judged on ingredients, cocktail inspiration, presence, and interaction. Okay, so now I know how I'm being judged on that. I just don't know how many points yet. Each classic competitor will make 1 specialty cocktail using at least 2 different spirit categories and Real syrups. So now that I know, as a classic competitor, out of those 6 spirits that are sponsoring the competition, it's my choice to use 2 of those plus Real syrups. So now I can start thinking about how I want to start building my cocktail. Your specialty cocktail. You're making 4 of these. Now I know how many cocktails I'm making. 3 are going to go to judges. 1's going to go for camera. You're making at least 2 different spirit sponsor categories, totaling a 1.5 ounce per cocktail. So every cocktail, yeah.
Sorry, can you scroll up a little? What was the last one? You went by it really quick. You just scroll. Yeah, scroll up a little bit. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
And then for your specialty cocktail, you're making 4 of, again, 3 going to judges, 1 going to camera. And then at least using 2 spirit sponsors, each 1.5 ounce of liquor per each cocktail. So if I want to use maybe 1 ounce of Tito's vodka and 1/2 ounce Spring 44 gin, I'm good with that. Or I want to do 3/4, however you want to do that. It must have at least 1.5 ounce total of those 2 spirit sponsors, or you can use 3 spirit sponsors or more. It's up to you. And then at least 1/2 ounce of the Real syrup in your cocktail, and then anything else you want after that. Ingredients competitor provided, so I know that the competition is sponsoring the spirits, they're sponsoring the Real, and at the end we'll get into what else we're supplying. But then if I want to use Aperol, or if I want to use something else, I need to bring that myself. Glassware and garnish competitor provided, so now I know I have to bring my own glassware, which for me I personally like, because it's great when you have a glassware sponsor, don't get me wrong, and as long as they got a diverse range. But I hate when we see the same glassware all the time for different cocktails. It kind of takes a little bit of that originality out of it. So I love when you can bring your own glassware, because then you can have some fun and kind of like help tell that story of the cocktail. And I'm sure most of you know already, but a great spot for glassware to source is just going to your local thrift store, spending like $5-6 on glassware, and no one else is going to have that glassware, but it's cheap and it's a great way to stand out in a competition. Glassware is huge. Classic division scoring. So now we're actually breaking down to actually have the points of everything now. The contest shall be based on a point system with a total of 225 points available to each competitor. Points may be accumulated during 1 round of competition with a fixed maximum number of points per round. So now we're breaking down to our 1-minute presentation. We talked about we're getting judged on ingredients, cocktail inspiration, presence, and interaction. And they're each equally weighted, 25 points each. So now I know they're equally weighted as a competitor. Not one is more weighted than the other, so don't have to worry about concentrating more on one. But like, well, where's the definitions? What does that mean? Ingredients. Like, you say ingredients to me? What does that mean to you? What does it mean to the judges? What does it mean to cocktail inspiration? What is presence? What does that mean? Every good competition should have definitions. And yes, we have definitions coming up. And then the mixology points would be bartending technique, 25 points, presentation, 25 points, taste and aroma, 50 points. Okay, so now I know I really need to concentrate on a good, not only tasting cocktail, but aroma as well, which is often overlooked. And how to get aroma using garnishes or sprays or however you want to do it, I need to start thinking about that. And then garnish. Your garnish is worth 25 points alone on this. 1-minute presentation, definition categories. So now we're going to actually break down of what those definitions mean and how they're going to relate to the judges of how they're going to be scoring you, to make sure we're all on the same page of how you're competing and how you should be getting scored. Ingredients. The bartender will be judged on their overall explanation of why they use the ingredients they chose and how they pair and add value to their overall cocktail. So now we're talking about your 1-minute presentation. All the bartenders are set up. Your time's up. Boom. The MC is going to give up the mic to one bartender randomly, 1 at a time for the 3 classic, and go 1 at a time. You have 1 minute, and he's going to hold the stopwatch there for you, so you know If you haven't practiced it, you'll have that time. You know how much it is. And during this 1 minute, you want to try to hit on as best you can, score high in every category as best you can to score overall. Or maybe your strategy is to maybe score high on 2 categories and kind of leave 2 out. It's all about strategy now. But again, you want to score high on ingredients, cocktail inspiration, presence, and interaction. So cocktail inspiration, the bartender will be judged on their overall explanation, their story, and inspiration behind their cocktail and their cocktail name. So now start to think of a story of like, what is my inspiration? This is that. This is good. Okay. And this is going to come out maybe harsh for some people to hear, but I'm just blunt and being honest. And then I say this a lot of times is when you use your cocktail inspiration, try to put yourself in the judge's shoes, but also something that's important to you. So when I say that, meaning these judges probably judge a lot of cocktail competitions before. They've probably heard the I'm making this for my grandmother that reminded me of, or maybe the first time I bartended. They've probably heard that 152 times. Try to stand out, try to do something different. Come up with an original story, something that's really personal to you that really tells what that story, that cocktail is. You're more than welcome to do anything else. I'm just giving you best advice of how to score better. Presence, 25 points. Presence, the bartender will be judged on their overall attitude, presentation, quality of speech, fluency in English, as English is the official language of the IBA. So in IBA competitions, no matter what country you're coming from, especially at the World Cocktail Championship, everyone has this 1 minute presentation for Classic and they all deliver it in English. And it's crazy. You'll watch a competitor compete on stage, give this perfect 1 minute speech in English, and then you're going to talk to them afterwards. They don't speak a word of English, but they practiced that 1 minute speech perfectly. So again, this is why we're doing this in English, just to set the standard of IBA. And then last, for that 1 minute speech interaction, again, 25 points. The bartender will be judged on their overall verbal and nonverbal interaction with the audience and judges. Don't be this person just reading it off your phone and on the mic and looking down. Great that you have it on your phone. Great that you put that much effort into it, but look up. Bring the judges in, bring the crowd in, get them behind you. The better you do at interacting with the judges in the crowd, the better you'll score in this category. Ingredients, why you use what you use and why. Inspiration of the cocktail and name, don't forget that. Presence, what's your swagger, what's your presence on stage, and overall interaction with the crowd and judges. That's your 1 minute presentation breaking down right there. Next, once all the competitors for Classic say their inspiration, the judges, the MC will say, all right, and crowd, 3, 2, 1, go. And you'll all start going at the same time, starting off with your 6 minutes. They're going to give you a countdown, or they're going to, at 6 minutes, they'll start you. At halfway through, at 3 minutes, they'll say 3 minutes warning. Halfway through, 1 minute warning, 30 seconds. And then if any of you need it, at 10 seconds, they'll start counting you down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands in the air. Hands in the air after that. Ooh. All right, now the mixology category is broken down. Starting off with bartender technique. The bartender will be judged on their overall bartending technique and bartending skills during the cocktail building experience. Are you a master of your tools behind the bar, or do you show you're still learning proper, clean, efficient techniques? If the cocktail needs to be stirred, am I stirring a cocktail? Am I shaking a stirred cocktail? Am I stirring a shaking cocktail? Am I, when I'm going to pour, am I missing the glass or the jigger completely, right? Am I nervous? Am I doing everything with confidence and moving with purpose and showing I'm a master of my tools? Bartending technique. Are you showing proper bartending technique and clean bartending proper technique? Presentation. The presentation judges will be looking at the overall appearance of the cocktail. Is it appealing to the eye? Does it stand out from other cocktails? Does the overall appearance make sense? So now they get the cocktail competition. If you notice, these categories, as a mixology judge, are purposely put in this order because they're almost going to be the order of how they're judging you in. Bartending technique. I'm watching you on stage, so I'm going to score that first. As soon as I'm done, that's my first category, bartending technique. Presentation. All right, cool. Now I'm looking at the cocktail. Right? Presentation. Is there decoration around there? What does the cocktail look like? Is it appealing? Next, taste and aroma, 50 points. The judges will be looking for the overall taste of the cocktails. Is the cocktail distinguish itself from other cocktails? Is it appealing to the palate? Is the taste experience pleasurable and entice the senses, or is it enjoyed by the tongue? Is the cocktail well balanced? And taste is so, can't think of the word right now, but everyone has a different opinion. So just because something tastes great to you doesn't mean it's going to taste great to that one particular judge. We generally like to have a diverse judging panel of tasting judges, so they all have different palates. It's just like your guests at the bar. Not every guest at your bar is going to like Fernet. Not every guest at your bar is going to like Grand Marnier, but I'm sure you'll find something in the middle that will make them happy. It's up to you how you want to compete. It's strategy. And then aroma. This one is probably every time I've judged a competition, and aroma's in there. This is the thing that's overlooked 100% of the time by almost every competitor. They think they make this great, well-balanced, great-looking cocktail, and then you pick it up, and there's no smell whatsoever. And if it's like aquafaba or egg whites, and it smells like wet dog hair, and it's even worse probably. Don't forget about aroma. That fresh slacked garnish on there with herbs and mint, or spray some vanilla on there. Cinnamon. I use a lot of spices on mine just to get aroma sometimes, because aroma is the easiest low-hanging fruit of how to gain points. Okay, next. And those are both judged out of 50 points. So those are the biggest. Next, garnish. Now, we talked about garnish. There's no garnish round in here, but we want to start to introduce that to you. So that's why we're getting a garnish category of your garnish. Garnish, how original is a garnish? Is it a replica of their cocktail on their menu already, a variation of something completely original and out of the box? Or does the garnish look like art and help tell the story of the cocktail? If you haven't done it yet, after this, I definitely recommend for you to go on Google and start Googling IBA cocktails and just look at some of those garnishes. Like, holy crap. It's amazing what they do. Like, what is that? Like, it literally looks like art. Like, between the glassware and the garnish, that's got to be a good cocktail because it looks amazing. It could taste like crap, but because it looks good, you're going to think it's got to be a great cocktail. Garnish is so key, and we're going to give you a whole garnish training class and show you about how to do that after this. Deductions. Now we know how to gain points. This is how we're going to lose points. Spill. Every time in your classic round you spill, 1 point deduction. The way the judges are going to have that, they're going to have a little clicker, just like a door guided club. Click, click, click. Hopefully they don't have to click, but every time you spill, click, click, click. This way they're watching you the whole time and not writing down, looking up, writing down, looking up. They'll have their eyes on you the whole time. Drops, anytime you drop something is 1 point. Don't really see that happening sometimes, but we know sometimes you get a little nervous and you drop something or something, it happens. So that's why it's in there. Wrong, missing ingredient, wrong procedure. So again, at the competitor 1 o'clock call time, when you turn in your recipe, your judge behind you is going to have that exact recipe. So be clear on what's in your cocktail, including the correct measurements. Everything on that list is what they're going to be looking for. If you miss something, you'll get a wrong missing ingredient. If you add something that's not in your recipe because you forgot to write it down, you'll get a wrong ingredient. Be clear and as concise as possible of how much information you put on that recipe card, that it's 100% of what you're doing on stage. When you get to the higher levels of like the IBA cocktail competitions, it's even more intense. We're not doing it for this one, but I'm giving you a heads up of what to expect in the future. Is not only do you have to do all that in your recipe, but you have to put the recipe in order of how you're making it. So if I put, I'm doing an ounce of Tito's and a half ounce of Spring 44 gin, and for some on my recipe, and for some reason I screw up and I do gin first and then Tito's, I'm getting deducted for it. The reason why is those judges have a tough job. So by putting it in order, it's easier for them to do their job as a judge, and it makes it a little bit easier for everyone else to make the event run smoother. So at the finals and the global levels, be expected to do that. So keep that in mind. Each sponsor bottle not showcased with the label out on the bar top. This is something big with IBA competitions as well, and a lot of competitions overseas. So if I take that bottle of Prairie Vodka, after I'm pouring it, and I put it down on my well, or if I'm pouring it and put it back where it's like this brand is spending a lot of money to be in this damn competition. And if I don't have the respect of a competitor to say thank you and do that and make sure the label is facing out when I put it back down, so it's a billboard for everyone watching, everyone taking pictures, well, shame on me. Not only shame on me, now I'm getting deducted 5 points for every one of those. So make sure you put those sponsor bottles on there. One easy way that I do it, again, compete however you want, is I tend to put when I do classic, I tend to put my bottles on one side. For me, I start on my right and start from inside and go out. And then every time I'm done pouring, I go from my right and then I put the bottle on my left. So now what that does is I know I use that bottle and it keeps me in track of what I'm doing next. And I tend to remember to put the label out. However you want to compete is up to you. I'm just giving you some best practices. Breaks, 10 points. If you happen to break something, glassware for classic is the easiest one that happens. Sometimes you get so excited, and unfortunately we've seen it happen so many times where you throw the scoop in there, you dump the ice, and you get so excited you're using this great little thin glassware and it just breaks, and then you can't really serve the drink because it's broken ice. You'll get a 10-point deduction for that as well. And then the last big one is not being an active participating USBG member. To be in this competition for the Florida one, you have to be an active USBG member. If for Miami, to compete Miami, you have to be a Miami member. To compete Palm Beach, you have to be a Palm Beach member. If you compete in Tampa, you have to be a Tampa member. It's $120 a year for bartenders. And if not, you can do the great deal they started doing last year was $12 a month. You have to be a member to compete this way because you're going to have to be a member to compete moving on forward. And it's a great way to give back and say thank you to the organizations organizing this and dedicating their time to give back to the membership. And then one thing on that, which comes up, because I had a question on that, is let's say we got someone watching right now, Liz, for example. Liz is a member of USBG Miami, but she's also member of USBG Palm Beach. Can she get to pick which chapter she wants to go in? Can she do both? How does that work? And national stance on this is you are competing for your primary chapter of where you live. So like someone like Liz, if she's a member of both, she would compete for Miami. And then unsportsmanlike conduct would be a disqualification. Don't be a dick. If you talk to your judges, you talk to the organizer, if you're unsure of something, just be respectful. I promise you, the more respectful you are, the more respect you'll get back. And unfortunately, there's always that rule in there because someone broke that rule in the past. All right, so that is the classic rules. Now let's move on to the additional Flair rules. Oh, someone can mute their mic. Thank you. The Flair competitors will each have 6 minutes on stage to impress the judges with the original cocktail and French Long Island iced tea that can be made in any order. So as a competitor reading that, I know, okay, 6 minutes. Okay, same amount of time as classic. But what? I'm making an extra cocktail? What? Cocktail number 1, the French Long Island iced tea. So it's basically, think of like a Long Island style cocktail. Half ounce of Tito's vodka, half ounce of Spring 44 gin, the TBA Spirit 1, TBA Spirit 2, Maker's Mark whiskey. Those will all be set half full. So as a Flair competitor, we know this is working Flair. So now I can practice with these bottles half full, and now I can't really rotate and flip the bottles, but I'll be practicing more my functional, my working Flair to make this cocktail. And then if I notice, oh, the Hennessy is only set to 1 ounce. Hennessy's a little bit more difficult shaped bottle, even though it's got a beautiful neck. So we're giving you a little incentive here to do more of it, and it's only set to 1 ounce. So now I can do more flips and rotations with that. And then for Flair competitors, I know it's important to you, all those bottles, we asked for 750s, so most likely we'll get 750s for that round. And I say most likely because every time we ask, once every 5 years, someone screws up and they give us liters, so we should have 750s, just saying. And then 2 ounces of finest call single press lemon. So you can set that to any amount that you want over 2 ounces. Most of you guys know for Flair competitors, there's a big move in there called the Finest Call Stall. Finest Call being one of the longest running sponsors of Flair or bartending competitions since 2000 or 99 in the world, in all styles of competition. So the way we get back in Flair is to actually do a signature move with them called the Finest Call Stall, where you have to stall the bottle somewhere on your body or the bar top, or at least attempt it to hit it. So by setting the amount to whatever amount you want, we all practice a different amount. So you'll be able to set that amount ahead of time during your run, as long as it has a minimum of 2 ounces in there. And then now procedure. Build that in the tin, shake with ice, strain, top with cola, garnish with a lemon wedge, and a tall straw. So again, the ingredients are on there. If I forget the tall straw, that's a missing ingredient. If I forget the lemon wedge, that's a missing ingredient. If I forget the shake, it's a wrong procedure. Break down the rules, break down the procedures, break down the recipe. Cocktail number 2 for Flair. This is exactly the same as classic now. So now you're making one original cocktail 4 times, 3 for judges, 1 for camera, and with at least 2 of the spirit categories, up to 1.5 ounce each again, and Real syrups up a half ounce of that. And then after that, ingredients, whatever I want to add to that, and glassware, whatever I want to add to that. So now as a Flair competitor and as a sponsor, I know that at least in Flair, my products can be showcased every round in Flair because it's in that Long Island style cocktail. And then hopefully again, a 50% chance it'll be showcased again on stage during that classic or during that original cocktail. Where in classic, it's probably like a 50-50 chance that my cocktail will be showcased by every competitor, because usually competitors kind of choose between, let's go a light spirit like a vodka, gin, or a light rum, or maybe a darker spirit like a Hennessy Makers, or like a dark rum with that as well. So it tend to works out that way. So giving you all the insights of a competitor, organizer, and everything to help direct you of the best compete. For Flair, if I want my music, it has to be on a thumb drive. Not something, hey, can you play from my phone? Oh, I don't have a hookup. You're a DJ, you don't have a hookup. Or, hey, can you just download this off of you? No, be respectful. Everyone's here. You are professional. bring your music on a thumb drive, clearly labeled with your name on there. And then we'll go through the procedure of giving it to the DJ and how to do that as well. If you do your due diligence by making other people's jobs easier in a professional way, it'll go a long way and make things run smoother for you. And you'll be invited back to more and more, not only competitions, but events and other things like that as well. The only spirit sponsored bottles supplied on stage are the half full ones on the bar schematic. Competitors may supply additional spirit sponsored bottles with good labels, no electrical tape, or additional stickers set to any amount to use for the specialty cocktail with only a minimum of a ½ ounce of liquor in each bottle. The working Flair cocktail must be made with the supplied half full bottles, and it says brandy, but it's cognac. That was a typo from the last one. So now what does that tell me? That on stage for my Flair round, all the bottles they're supplying are the half full ones, including the Hennessy 1 ounce. But if I want to add an additional bottle for exhibition flair of maybe Tito's, because I love flaring with Tito's, and maybe I want to juggle 3 bottles or something, or 2 bottles in a tin, I have to supply those additional bottles and supply that additional liquor in there as well. And if I have to use that Long Island style cocktail, I have to make it with the half full bottles, but the exhibition style bottles I can make for my specialty cocktail. All right. You may pre-ice and pre-garnish your glassware in the bar top. This is a little different than classic. Classic, we're a little more restricting on them. But Flair, we're asking you to do more, so there's a little bit more leeway we give you of things to make up for that as well. So it's more of a balance of overall. So for Flair, if I know, oh, damn, I can pre-ice my glassware and I can pre-garnish my cocktail if I want, that will save me time to be able to put on more of a show if I want to do anything. And then competitors cannot rearrange items on the back bar to the schematic to start around, but can only add to the back bar. The front bar may be rearranged. So what does that tell me? If I look at my back bar, it's probably going to be something like this, like a display. What that's telling me is they're doing this so on camera, they're going to have some great pictures for the photographer. And if I need something, there's a backup there. Can't change the order of that, but I can add stuff to the side of the table and stuff if I need more room for props or more bottles. And in the front bar, I can change and do whatever the hell I want. So start to think of like, all right, how am I going to set this up? I have 3 minutes to set it up. How am I going to do it? Okay, I have to do that. I can do this. Start thinking strategy. I know we're going over a lot, and keep in mind this is all being recorded. And then as soon as we're done tomorrow, this will be posted back on the website, which we'll go over in case you missed anything. You can go back again. Competitors must supply all other ingredients for their cocktails, including glassware other than the standard ice, the spirits that we're using, and then there'll also be, oh, there's some new stuff in here we didn't hear about, but they're supplying this. Finest called single press lime, single press lemon, pineapple juice, and the finest called cranberry. And then all of the Real syrups that are available will be on the back bar or be available to you as well to use. And this is something new for, if you haven't competed in our FBA comps, this is something we started a couple of years ago, which is a great, great, great tool to use if you use it correctly. Competitors will have an opportunity to a one-touch after the round ends behind the bar, the mixology tables, to be able to add or do one same thing to all 4 of their specialty cocktails or French Long Island iced tea. Example would be to pour one missing ingredient into all their poured cocktails, use a small torch to torch a garnish, add a missing garnish to their cocktail, add a foam to their cocktail, etc. So this one touch is for Flair only. As soon as you're done, the MC is going to ask, and for your one touch, do you want to do it at the bar or when you're presenting to the cocktail judges? Sometimes like, oh, damn, I forgot to put that lemon in that French Long Island. Boom, this is my one touch. Make sure you announce it, and boom, you get literally one touch, and you're done. This will save you for a deduction. So use it as a buffer in case you forget something or run out of time. Or like, oh, damn, I forgot to put Tito's vodka in my specialty cocktails. With that one touch in the glasses, vodka, 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 vodka. Still the one touch, but it's the same one touch for all 4. So you can do that as well. So it's a good way to save your ass if you forgot something. Now let's take it a step further. Let's say you're a prepared competitor, you finished everything on time, and I still got my one touch because I planned this. Now, as I bring my drink over to the competitors or to the judges, and I present the drink in front of them, maybe my one touch is pouring water and there's dry ice and it smokes up in front of them and adds that aroma with some vanilla smoked in there. It's like, ooh, it's an interactive one touch while I'm talking about my cocktail. Or maybe that one touch is there's a paper swan on there and the swan's made out of flash paper, and I use that torch because it's in the rules to light that. It glows up and then there's a garnish underneath. That's that one touch. It's something fun we started doing a couple of years ago, and it's paid off a lot. And seeing what competitors are doing now with it to either save their ass or do something with it is incredible. So during your one touch, so after you do your one touch, if you do it at the bar, then you bring your drinks over for Flair to the mixology judges. You're going to have now your 1 minute time to talk. You're going to have the mic, handheld mic again, and talk. If you're doing your one touch at the judges table, you'll be doing this time as you talk, or you're just going to talk as regular and explain the same thing. Why you made that cocktail. You're not being judged on that 1 minute for Flair, but that is a persuasion to the judges of why you use what you use, which we're going to get into of how you're being judged in a second. Perfect segue. Scoring. The contest should be based on a point system, which is a total of 250 points available to each competitor. Points may be accumulated during one round of competition with a fixed maximum number of points per round, 125 for Flair and 125 points for mixology. So now I know as a competitor, this is a 50-50 competition, 50% Flair, 50% mixology. When you get to IBA, it's slightly different. It's more like 60% Flair, 40% cocktail. And then other competitions around the world, it's 90% Flair, 10% cocktail. This one is we're looking for a true bartender to better set you up for success in the IBA comp. So we're doing 50-50. Flair points. Showmanship, 50 points. Most points out of that. So I know I got to put on a good show. Sponsor promotion, 25 points. Originality, 25 points. And difficulty, 25 points. And then, yes, there's definitions to break this up. Mixology points. Bartending technique, 25 points. Presentation, 25 points. Taste and aroma, 50 points. Garnish, 25 points. Your mixology points for Flair are identical to mixology points in Classic as well. So this way you got a better understanding of what we went through earlier. I've broken all those down. But let's break down the actual Flair points after these deductions. Deductions, again, same deductions for spills and drops, 1 point. Wrong missing ingredient, wrong procedure, 5 points. Again, you'll have your deduction judge on stage, making sure you do everything correctly. Breaks, 10 point. Not attempting a finest call stall. Remember we talked about finest call stall? You have to at least attempt a stall. You don't have to hit it. And again, you can stall anywhere. You can swing a ball top, but you at least have to attempt it. To say thank you to one of the major sponsors. And then again, not being an active participating USBG chapter member, disqualification. So again, you have to be a USBG member to compete in this competition. And again, unfortunately, unsportsmanlike conduct will be a disqualification. Flair category definitions. Showmanship, let's break it down. The bartender will receive points on how engaging and entertaining they are with the crowd and judges. Does your personality shine on stage, or are you just captivating in your stone face with a little emotion? I don't like to use names when I'm talking about other people if they're not in the room, but there was this amazing Flair bartender one time. Through the most difficult stuff, I was like, oh. Amazing. Had sunglasses on, had a hat on, stone face, no emotion. They still scored very high in difficulty, but their crowd interaction and showmanship was very low because they didn't really score high in that category. Showmanship, be interactive, have fun with the crowd, put on a show. And this is the best way I can use this example is if I'm doing a routine and let's say, where are you? Let's say I do something and bam, to the music. The crowd knows, hey, he was supposed to do that. There was a beat on the music, it stopped and it stalled, I get it. Or if I take that lime, squeeze it, throw it over my shoulder and drop it in my drink, hey, he meant to do that. Showmanship, entertainment, the crowd gets entertained. They understand to be entertained. The audience watching at home understands how to be entertained, but they don't understand the difference of a bartender grip to a juggler's grip to reverse grip to, oh, he did this and this. Too technical for him. Showmanship. That's why that's there. Sponsor promotion. Let's get back to the people that pay the bills so we can do these events. The bartender will receive points on how well they promote the sponsors during the routine. Are they just throwing the bottles label out before the pouring, or are they actually incorporating fun ways to promote the brands that support the competition through flaring the sponsored bottles, through flaring the sponsored bottles more, props, music, signs, creative ways to do this. The very least we see sometimes is like the general, hey, and they put on the bar top. At least they put the label out, great, but for Flair, we want you to step up and do a little bit more than that. The more you flare with the bottles on stage, you'll score higher in this routine, opposed to just flaring your competitor choice bottles and taking the sponsors and pouring them off. You'll score very low on this. Give respect to the people that pay the bills. The more the sponsors are happy, the more events we can do worldwide and for everybody else and give more opportunities to everybody. And I can tell you this, the more you give back to sponsors and look good, remember, 90% of the time, they're going to be there filming this, taking pictures, doing everything. The more you do stuff with their bottle, the more they're filming, the more they're going to show their bosses and oh, hey, that guy was really good. Like with that South Beach Food and Wine Festival, let's hire him behind the bar and put him behind the bar to do all that. It's a way for you to showcase your talents and skills directly to them. Don't waste it. Originality, 25 points. The bartender will receive points on how original that move is or hasn't really been seen before. Let your own style shine through. How original are your moves? Are you doing the same basic Flair moves we've all seen for 20 years, or are you creating new stuff and pushing the boundaries of Flair? The more original your moves are, the better your score in this category. Difficulty, 25 points as well. The bartender receives points for making drinks with some style of Flair. The more degree of difficulty, the more points will be awarded. The good thing is we have some good, talented Flair judges coming in most of these competitions that we do. And just because there's more objects in the air doesn't mean it's more difficult. I've seen the 2 bottles over the shoulder through a Bill Long double stall, to me, is way more difficult than juggling 4 bottles. And that's 2 bottles. Bottle tin, there's so many different moves, blind catches, degree of difficulty, not just more items in the air, difficulty. The mixology category, again, we went through this earlier, so I'm just going to blow past this because it's exactly the same thing as it was for Classic. Next, the bar layout. We're actually going to have a picture once we finalize those last 2 sponsors. That's why that TBA is in there. Well, you'll actually get to see of what the bar is going to look like behind you, what bottles are going to be where, and what's actually being supplied and showcased. Make it a lot easier for you. Less thinking and just more doing. This is another big one that I don't see a lot of competitions coming up. Okay, Rob, you gave us this, but what if we have questions? How do we handle that? All questions, starting from here on out, you're going to email to contact@bartendbetternow.com. And then I'm going to take those questions, copy and paste them, and put them on the official website with the answer. And that usually gets done within 24 hours, if not sooner. And then we're getting to what website and all that is in a second. Itinerary, again, we went through this earlier. 11 a.m. staff arrives. I forgot that's different than what's on the website. 1 p.m. competitors check in, 2 p.m. competitors meeting, 3 p.m. judges meeting. Go to the judges meeting, unless you're doing your garnish. And then 4 from 11, we should end before 11. I'm just putting 11 to be safe for the competition. Prizes. For the Classic division, 1 person will advance from USBG Miami, USBG Tampa, and USBG Palm Beach and Broward to the regional again on April 14th, back at the same venue. So those of us in Florida, we're lucky enough to be able to compete as a warm-up on stage during a local qualifier that we're going to be on that same stage for the regional. So use this as a like, wow, this is great. I got ceiling height. And then when you go for the regional, you'll feel more comfortable. Like you have a lot of those questions asked, not like you're walking into a bar the first time. It's like, where do they keep the Tito's? Flair division. This one's a little different. Same thing. We're going to, each chapter will advance 1 person for Flair for Miami, Tampa, Palm Beach, and Broward. And again, Orlando as well will be in this one. So keep in mind, Orlando will be here for Flair because their Classic competition is, again, February 10th. If you can make it 4 o'clock, be there. And then the most accurate bartender. We talked about this earlier. The Spill Stop Challenge. Open up to anybody in the room. $100 in a trophy. This is fun to do. And I always love seeing when different people win. And then now, more rules, last-minute rules. The only items supplied for the contest are those listed on the bar layout, which you'll see. But again, listed in the thing I'm telling you now. Standard ice, scoop, ice, spirit sponsors, listed finest calls, all the reals that are available. And then we give you 1 tall glass for the French Long Island iced tea. Lemon wedges, tall glass, free pour tin. Don't worry about the free pour tin. We're not doing that. And not doing the bottled water. Any other ingredients, including glassware, additional bottles for competitor special cocktail, and anything else must be supplied by the competitor. Competitor recipes for their specialty cocktail will be submitted in writing no later than at the competitor meeting at 1 p.m. on March 1st, 2026. So at 1 p.m. when you come there for competitor meeting, you'll be turning your recipe in 2 ways. So I'm giving you a heads up now, too, to save you some time so you can get that better spot. In writing, just like it says, but we're also have what we do is we set up a QR code there with your phone. So you're going to scan the QR code and email your recipe. So it's in a digital format. So it saves time for the admin manager to literally just copy and paste it and reprint it up for the judges. So what you want to do is make sure you have somewhere handy your notes or somewhere your phone, your recipe written out digitally. You just got to copy and paste and then email it to the correct email the day of at the time. And then always do this to cover your ass. All rules are subject to change without notice. And this is Copyright Bar Wars LLC, which we've been running competitions since 1999. Yes, alcohol is a preservative. All right, so that is that. Now let's give you some things. We talked about the website. So let's share the screen now to the website. If you haven't seen it, because we definitely talked about it, and then you probably saw it from looking here, the official website for this competition is usbgpalmbeach.org/USBG USCC. Obviously USBG, and USCC is United States Cocktail Competition. It talks about the run of show, everything that's going on. Official rules, again, were posted at 7:02, so now you can click here and get those same rules we just looked at. To register, click on that link to register. It's all done through Eventbrite. It's free to compete as long as, again, you're a USBG member, and there's X amount of spots for X amount of chapters. So if you want to compete, get in there and lock your spot in now. This talks a little bit more about the flow and how it works from the local chapters to the regionals to the finals. The dates for the finals haven't been announced yet, or the location. I know they're going to announce that after the last regional, but from what I hear of the talks, pretty impressed. And then this is the save the date for our competition. This was today's thing, breaking up the bartender. Oh, this is actually the flyer for this, but we're going to change this once we start adding the sponsors now. QR code for this. And then this is actually a list of competitors already registered. The link went live a couple days ago. We just kind of left it under the gun. And those of you that have been Googling, been doing the right thing and getting signed up. So we have, for the Classic division, signed up. We have one person from Palm Beach and Broward, Tessa. And then from Tampa, two people, Vernon, who's watching right now. Shout out, buddy. And then Jonathan Choi. And then from Miami, Orgakazan, which I'm excited to meet. I'm going to meet him Saturday for the first time at the Miami Run Congress. And then for Flair, no one signed up for Flair yet. So there you go. This is the question and answers we talked about. All questions will be copied and pasted here. There's already one question, is when will the rules be posted? I answered that earlier today, saying it will be posted tonight after this meeting, and then we'll post everything in here. So now you have all the question and answers, where to go to. It's a competitor's job to check this daily. I usually check it at the beginning of the day when I'm competing in competitions, because this is nothing new. This is a normal format for most competitions we compete worldwide in. And then I usually check it in the night in case there's any updates. So this way, I have to think about something, how I'm going to adjust. It gives me more time to think. So I check it twice daily, but it's up to you. Whatever you want to do. If you don't want to just forget about it and do your thing, that's your strategy. I would check it at least daily. So this is that page. And again, it's usbgpalmbeach.org/USBG USCC. So this is one resource, and then I hinted at another resource I'm going to give you right now as well, with the FBA, the Flair Bartenders Association, partnering up with the USBG. If you haven't heard it from your chapter leaders yet, they got this information a little while ago, hopefully, that there is a new thing that the FBA has partnered up with the USBG, and we're actually giving you free training for all USBG members worldwide. You're going to like this. Starting off first, go here to recent courses. These are all online modules and training courses. This is a soft launch. We haven't shown it to anyone yet. Just you guys have first dibs on this. You go here, and IBA Bartending Techniques. This is a free course. IBA Bartending Techniques and Properly Preparing for Comps Part 1. This really dives into Classic. Your first steps to Classic. You're going to really learn how to compete, how you're being judged on your 1-minute speech, as well as do a whole demo and how to compete in that garnish round, a real live garnish round. And it's just all here. It's all for free. You can click on here and it'll give you a quick little.
Have you ever watched a bartending competition and thought to yourself, I'd love to do that, but I don't know where to start? If so, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Welcome to IBA Bartending Techniques and Properly Preparing for Comps, Part 1, a free course created to help you take that first confident step into the world of IBA-style competition bartending. Let me be clear about something right away. Competition bartending is not just for the elite, the famous, or the fearless. Every great competitor you admire once stood behind their bar with the same doubts, the same questions, and the same nerves you might be feeling right now. The difference? They chose to invest in themselves. This course is designed to remove the intimidation and replace it with understanding. We break down IBA techniques, competition structure, judging expectations, and most importantly, how to prepare mentally and professionally before ever stepping onto the competition stage. This isn't just about flashy shortcuts or overnight success. It's about fundamentals, discipline, and confidence. Fear doesn't mean you're not ready. Fear means you care. And when you pair that passion with the right education, the results can be life-changing. Not just for competitions, but for how you carry yourself behind the bar every single shift. By enrolling in this free course, you're not committing to winning a trophy. You're committing to growth, to learning, to believing that your skills, your story, and your dedication deserve to be developed and showcased. So if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Enroll now, take the first step, and start preparing, not just to compete, but to elevate yourself as a professional bartender. I'll see you inside the course.
So that's a quick little introduction for that course. If you're competing in Classic, definitely watch it. You'll score so much better, be better prepared for it as well. But wait, there's more. As I mentioned, that one's free for everybody, but USBG gets 2 special gifts as well, as any level of any member of any chapter. The first one being the level 1 Flair for the working bartender. If you ever wanted to learn Flair, or if you have some maybe members that want to compete in Flair but aren't really sure how to start, but they want to get their foot in the water and kind of learn. This is a free course taught by Dean Cerneals. If you guys don't know Dean Cerneals, he's the one that invented these practice bottles. He is a god in the Flair world as well. He is the mixologist for our director of beverage application for Finest Call and Real as well. And he walks through a whole course step by step of like a level 1 for working Flair bartenders. It's a great course. And if you want to learn how to get that course, because if you try to book it, it's going to charge you. The code for USBG members, telling you, is USBG 100. And you'll get the code, you'll get the course all for free once you sign up. Again, this is a free resource to sign up and learn, but USBG 100 is that free code for USBG members. So now for Classic, we got you covered with education. For Flair, we got you covered for education. Well, what about you organizers out there like, hey, USBG's asked me to run this competition. I don't know how to run a competition or how to judge Flair. I know nothing about Flair. How do I do that? We got you covered as well. So this took months to put together, and I'm so happy to share it with you, is how to organize your first bartending competition. This is free for all USBG members. Even if you don't want to even organize a competition, once you have this knowledge, you'll know how to compete better in a competition, and more importantly, all the opportunities that are out there. It's normally $149. Right there is worth it for USBG membership alone. And again, the code for this is USBG 100, the same code. But there's a lot here.
Welcome, and thank you for being here. If you're watching this, it means you're not just thinking about hosting a bartending competition. You're serious about doing it the right way. Bartending competitions are powerful. They build community, they elevate talent, they create opportunities for bartenders, brands, and venues alike. But when they're poorly planned, rushed, or inconsistent, they can do the opposite. That's why this course exists. This program was created specifically for first-time organizers who want structure, clarity, and confidence. Whether you're producing a classic bartending competition, a Flair competition, or a hybrid of both, this course walks you step by step through the entire process, from concept to execution, using real-world standards aligned with the Flair Bartenders Association. Inside this course, you'll learn how to plan properly, budget realistically, secure sponsors, choose the right venue, build a professional judging system, manage competitors, market your event, and deliver a competition that is fair, safe, and respected. You just won't hear theory. You'll receive downloadable tools, judges sheets, timelines, budgets, rulebooks, and templates that you can use immediately. These are the same types of assets used by experienced organizers and ambassadors around the world. Most importantly, this course is about mindset. It's about understanding that hosting a competition is a responsibility. You are setting the stage for people's careers, for brand relationships, and for the culture of our industry. And investing in this course is investing in your professionalism, your credibility, and your ability to create something that lasts beyond one night. So if you're ready to stop guessing, start leading, and build a competition you're proud of, let's get started.
This course is involved. There's like 3 different sections. The first section is the outline, foundation and planning. Starts of 90 days out to 60 days out to 30 days out to the week of to the day of till after the comp. Budgeting and financial strategies, venue and logistics. Like how do you pick a venue? You know, picking a venue for Classic is way different than picking a venue for Flair, and maybe you got a hybrid of both. Section 2 is the whole sponsorship and partnerships. How do we get sponsors? If I'm scared to talk to a sponsor, how do I handle that? I don't know how to ask for money. Money's such a dirty thing. I don't know. Watch this. If you just as a chapter leader, watch it for that module alone of how to get money and sponsorship, and don't look at it as a sponsorship. Look at it as partnerships and how you can work together for these brands. There's so much in there. Staffing and operations, judging systems. All right, well, how do I put this together and judge? Tells you a whole way to judge competitions and put your scoring together. Let's say I want to run a classic competition. It breaks down of how to run a classic competition, give you different variations. Maybe I don't know anything about Flair. Well, great. There's a whole introduction to Flair competition that will teach you a way to start learning how to judge Flair and organize a Flair comp if you or competitors know nothing about Flair. And then maybe it's a full-on, Flair. It's a great Flair competition. These are some of the standards. It gives you judges sheets, templates, scoring rules, everything. Competitors. How to talk to what your responsibility is to competitors, how to manage them, ticketing an audience, how to sell tickets, where to sell tickets, what is your audience expectations, how do you get to them, whole marketing, how to properly promote this event and do everything. And then some of the handouts, again, like the judges sheets for Classic, for Flair, Intro to Flair, FBA Tour Partners deck. We use this for our FBA Tour. If you're a part of the FBA Tour, which is a global circuit of competitions linking bartenders together to see an overall ranking of bartenders worldwide, this gives you a tool of why you can go to brands and hand them this of why they should sponsor your event because it's part of this. And then this one as well, it's worth it alone for this as well. The sponsorship partnership deck. We're giving you the same partnership deck verbatim. Prices, everything that we use to grade this competition in March 1st with all the chapters. We're not hiding anything. We're giving you information of how to make it better and run with it. It is a great tool. It's a great resource. There's different quizzes after every section, then a final quiz. So again, this is worth it. Again, the code is USBG 100, but so much in store. We don't want to just task you to do this competition. We want to set you up for success, give the information to score high, and realize bartending can be your real job. Thank you, guys. Greta, what do we got?
So that was a lot of information. That's a lot of rules, regulations, but I think you lined it up pretty well. As far as the IBA it goes, is it true that they are making you clean your tins before they stop your time?
Making you clean? No. If anything, which I'm trying to think where that would get in there. If anything, what they look for is, especially classic, is if I'm pouring something into my cocktail, right? I pour my 4 cocktails, and when you're pouring your cocktails, they're looking for wash lines. It gets really intense. Where your wash lines are identical. If I look across there, like every drink has the same amount of liquid in there. Pour. So that's what they're judging. But also, when I'm done and I stop, proper technique is to show your tin that there's nothing left in there. So, just because I stopped here, yeah, I did it, but I got so much more in here. You caught me. There you go. So that's probably what maybe might start that the question and answer. And again, if there's any specific competition questions about the March 1st competition, please, I'm not going to answer those now, just to be fair and transparent to all the other competitors. Email those questions, and I'll put those answers in there. But any general questions, feel free to ask right now.
Anybody have any other questions regarding proper technique? I would definitely recommend going online and watching some of the IBA competitions. It's pretty staunch. Those are pros. Those guys, the proper label placement, the wash lines, chilled glasses, cleanliness. It all matters. It all really matters.
If I can, I'm always known for putting people on the spot. Bobby D, I know you're watching, buddy, because I see you. Bobby, I'm going to unmic you. Do you want to talk a little bit about IBA and what you can expect? Because you've been doing this longer than I have, buddy.
Yeah. Just for when you're doing your cocktail, and you're going to get nervous that first time up. Make sure when you practice. I mean, I can't tell you how much practice is the biggest part of it, and don't be afraid to do it in front of friends, family, people at work, just to walk through and make sure that you're going to get this safe. And just a deep breath and keep going. I can tell you that learning the IBA technique, some people think it's crazy, but when you start learning this and you start taking it back to your own bar and your personal stuff and you start doing it, you realize how much cleaner and faster you're working just by knowing this stuff. So definitely a well-worth program. And I'm so happy that USBG decided to jump in and do it this year.
Awesome. And then I'm going to put another person on the spot. Someone that's brought back some awards for Team USA and someone that's very happy is watching right now. Liz Rodriguez. Liz, if you want to unmute yourself and talk a little bit about maybe some good techniques or some good tactics and tips that we might have missed for Classic.
Hello, everybody. Well, the most important is practice. You have to practice a lot. Nothing come easy. Nothing come like you practice one day and you're going to win a trophy. It's not going to happen like that. You have to practice. You have to taste your cocktail. And you think you have everything done right? Continue practicing. Because the mistakes you can make on the stage are so minimum. and they can change the whole process or win a trophy or not.
Yeah, and which you've won plenty for us, so thank you for that.
And she said it to
Try
Cuba.
to do my best.
So that's about all we got. Again, thank you guys. Anyone that has any questions about organizing your competition, if you're a chapter leader, feel free to reach out to me. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. I wake up at 8:30 in the morning, and every day I'm working with different chapters to help them out because everyone is a little scared of this, and it's okay to talk about it. But the good thing is we are a community, and we can lean on each other for help. And I'm happy to help you with something. And when I have a question, I'm going to come to you and ask you if I know you can help me. So again, in Florida, I want to give a big shout out to USBG Miami, Emma, USBG Tampa, Adrian, USBG Orlando, Katrina, Jacksonville, Matthew, and myself, and our great team here at Palm Beach with Greta, Jules, Bobby Kwan, Ron, John Cow, Joe, and Bootleg Greg. Without you guys, we can't do what we do. So thank you all, and thank you for USBG for putting this opportunity together, and we'll see you guys on the stage soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Take care.
Right.